I got the AutoSpa 9 to 10 inch polisher, waxer, orbital buffer, whatever you want to call it. This is what we're going to use to wax my 2007 Ford Fusion. Some safety tips before you wax anything. Just want to make sure you wash your car thoroughly. You can take it to a really good drive-through car wash. You can wash it yourself, but make sure that wherever you wash it, make sure you wax it somewhere else. You don't want the ground to be wet while you're holding something that's plugged into an outlet. There's electricity flowing. You don't want to risk shocking yourself. So make sure the ground and the car are fully dry, fully washed and fully dried before you start waxing anything. So one thing you're going to need for this orbital buffer is an extension cord. You want to make sure you use a pretty heavy duty extension cord because this thing does drain a lot of power. I'll show you what it comes with. It comes with the sponge pad. This is what you actually put your wax on, which you'll be using. And this is the bonnet that you'll use to actually remove the wax once you've let it sit, or whatever your instructions say for your wax. And then the buffer itself. So as you can see, you are going to need an extension cord. First, you'll put this foam bonnet over the wheel. So I'm going to be using Meguiar's Ultimate Liquid Wax. There's a ton of great wax products out there. Just choose whichever one you like best. This was given to me as a gift and it looks pretty good. I know Meguiar's is a pretty good brand. A lot of people trust that brand, so this is what we're going to use. To apply it to the foam bonnet, I'm actually going to use a little rewards card to spread it. You want to make sure that the wax is spread evenly all the way around the bonnet. You don't want to do just little circles or lines, because when you start buffing, it'll just come out looking weird. You want to make sure it's fully coated. Apply your wax pretty liberally. I'm going to use our card to spread it out. So that's a pretty good coating. We're going to plug it in and start buffing. So you won't have to apply a lot of pressure, especially with this waxer. It's got a pretty decent weight, so you don't really have to push down at all. Just the weight of this will do fine. If you push it down too hard, it can mess up your clear coat, your paint. You want to avoid that. So while you're waxing, you want to do what I call a snake pattern. So you're going to do a winding motion from left to right down the hood. Then you're going to do a winding motion top to bottom across the hood. I'm going to do that 3 or 4 times till it's fully coated. Another tip is when you're done waxing, you want to remove the buffer and then turn it off. Some people have a tendency to turn it off and just kind of leave it where it is. You don't want to leave it in one place too long, so you just got to keep it moving. So with this type of wax, it says wait 2 to 5 minutes to let it dry. So we're going to wait just a little bit. So I replaced the sponge applicator bonnet and put on this removal bonnet. This is going to take the wax off, really polish it. So you'll know it's doing its job when that buffer starts sliding across the hood really easily. Means it's getting nice and slick. Of course, I have a few dings on my hood. This is a 2007, so naturally there's going to be some blemishes and that sort of thing. But overall, I can already tell that it's making it a lot slicker and already shinier. Maybe kind of hard to see on camera, but I can tell at different angles it's already way shinier. And there's multiple advantages to waxing your car. It protects your clear coat for way longer, has other benefits like less wind resistance. So on a really windy day when everybody's car is getting pushed around, the wind's just sliding off of your car, probably barely be able to feel it. And I believe with less wind resistance that it may make your car a little bit faster, maybe not quite enough to notice, but it's definitely putting up a lot less wind resistance. So now I'm gonna finish up waxing the rest of the car. I'm gonna set up a time lapse so you guys can see. So you can see the reflection off of it. Like I said, I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but I think you can probably tell. You can just see how shiny it is, how it's just reflecting everything. So next I'm going to do the back, the other side, and then I'm going to do the rest of my hood and the bumper and the whole front of the car. So I'm going to do a quick walk around. It's fully waxed, polished. The camera probably isn't doing it justice, but like I said, I can definitely tell standing here. So my final thoughts on the AutoSpa Orbital Buffer, Waxer, whatever you want to call it. I have no complaints at all. It worked great, as well as the wax, the Meguiar's liquid wax I used. I think you can see it a lot better on this side, how well it's reflecting, how shiny it is. The only thing I would say is if you have arthritis or like wrist problems, anything like that, the Orbital Buffer does shake quite a bit. I would compare it to like a push lawnmower. If you've ever used a push lawnmower, you know when you're done mowing you can feel it in your hands, the vibration and all that. It's kind of like that. So if you have bad wrists or arthritis, I would recommend using some padded gloves, and that may absorb a lot of the shock. But other than that, that's just a precaution. It did an awesome job. Very first time I've ever waxed it with an Orbital Buffer and not by hand. And like I said, this is a 2007. It already has some blemishes, some scratches and that sort of thing, but no matter what condition your car's in, waxing it always makes it look better. I'm super impressed with this AutoSpa Buffer. I mean, I was dealing with a camera and all that stuff. If you weren't dealing with a camera and you're just going straight for it, I would say to do your whole car, probably about 10 to 15 minutes, which is nothing compared to doing it by hand. Highly recommended. Definitely has a nice shine to it. I'm about to take it out, drive it around, and I'm sure I'll be able to tell there's a lot less wind resistance. When it rains, it'll just slide off.